Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We have reached Hadith number 30 from Al-Arba'un al-Nawawi, the book or the Hadith compilation that was compiled by Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah. In Hadith number 30, it is about the iltizam of the Hudud of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, holding on to the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. عن أبي ثعلبة الخشني رضي الله عنه عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: إن الله تعالى فرض فرائض فلا تضيعوها، وحد حدودا فلا تعتدوها، وحرم أشياء فلا تنتهكوها، وسكت عن أشياء رحمة لكم غير نسيان فلا تبحثوا عنها. This hadith that has been narrated in Dar Qutni as well, that was said by Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made things that are fard, that are obligatory upon you. فَلَا تُضَيِّعُوهَا, do not even lose them, do not go away from them, do not get yourself misused or misguided away from them. وَحَدَّ حُدُودًا فَلَا تَعْتَدُوهَا, and Allah has kept limits, and these are the hurmat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the the way in a previous hadith we took, the way there is a sanctuary for a king. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has his sanctuary, and those borders or those walls are the ones that have the hurmat, the things that are forbidden, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbade it upon us, and every time we transgress, we are earning the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us and to stay away from them, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always that we are able to stay within the limits that Allah has kept. وَحَرَّمَ أَشْيَاء فَلَا تَنْتَهِكُوهَا, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made things which are haram, which are forbidden, and do not even go near them. وَسَكَتَ عَنْ أَشْيَاء, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not spoken about certain things. رَحْمَةً لَكُمْ غَيْرَ نِسْيَانٍ, it is because of His mercy upon you, not because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgotten. فَلَا تَبْحَثُوا عَنْهَا, and not even go and try to seek these things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has left it for you as something that is halal and mubah, that Allah has kept a freedom for you to live. And every time you go and you try to dig deeper into certain things which Allah has let it free for you, you are going to get things more and more complicated. And especially during the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Sahabas were prohibited to ask certain questions in certain things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept it as let it free, because a wahi would be revealed on that and made hard upon the Muslims, and until the day of Qiyamah it would be made harder. So especially these were for the Sahabas, that they don't ruin things or they don't ask questions from things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has let it free, and that they don't search for it too much, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has showed His mercy, that Allah has not spoken about it. Likewise, it is also upon us that when we implement the rulings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether it be in our family, whether it be within our children, or whether it be within our parents, or in our society, or dealing common justice issues between two people, we always have to follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said. We always try and should be within the limits of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said. If Allah said that the son inherits twice of the daughters, we stick to that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, and unless both of the sides are fine with it and they do something that is fine with all of them. But these are things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has limited in number, and limited in things where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept certain rulings as a maslaha, as a goodness and khair for this mankind, whether it be in terms of the rulings that we see in interacting with opposite genders, or whether it be rulings in terms of inheritance, or whether it be in terms of the rights of husband and wife and children and parents. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had set a very perfect society, a solution for us, which if we follow, we will find the best in this dunya and akhirah. And if we were to go out of it, and if we were to waste our time as well in things that is of no use, things that are not going to benefit us, let's say for example someone wastes his whole time in a thing that does not have any usefulness. Let's say, for example, someone tries or wastes his time on who is the let's say the cousin, or let's say, for example, who is the cousin of Nuh alayhi salam, or who is the cousin of Yusuf alayhi salam. There are things that we should know as part of history, which are the important prophets Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned us as important parts of seerah, which makes very good lessons for us. But things that don't have any ما لا يعنيك, the thing that don't give you any good benefit. For example, things about when did this person, so and so person, exactly pass away. Unless you are in, let's say, you're finding a chain of narrations and you're trying to do some tahqiq, there is no use for you in terms of searching when this exactly so and so passed away and wasting your time in things that do not matter to you. And these are things that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's told us, don't waste our time, not to waste our time in these things, and to follow and put our main priority and our energy into the 5 main pillars. Sometimes today we have Muslims who wants to do way more and way things which are sunnah, but they miss the 5 main pillars. And that is very important, that we fulfill the 5 main pillars of Islam properly: the shahada, the salah, the zakat, the sawm, the hajj, and then we go on to the sunnah. Don't try to judge people, or don't try to go into a place where you are doing so and so sunnah, why is not that person not doing it? Sometimes maybe you're doing a sunnah which you're praying, mashallah, tabarakallah, you're praying the entire of Taraweeh or the entire of the Tahajjud, but maybe you're not praying Fajr in Jama'ah, which is way worse than what anyone could do. So always check yourself, are we doing the right things in the right, correct order? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us with this.